if you recall, I mentioned how certain albums, I look at them as like milestones, and I look at them as level ups, I believe is what I called it, where I can see where a drastic progression happened. MasterPeace is another one of those. MasterPeace was one of those albums where I started diving more into the poetic side of my artistry. I've always loved poetry. My grandmother was a poet. She had a lot of poetry books. Unfortunately, my mom can't find them, but still, I recall my mom mentioning my grandmother's love of poetry, and even members at our church, at the church I used to go to as a kid, they talked about how my grandmother was a beautiful poet. So when I started working on MasterPeace, originally it was called MasterPeace, just like an art exhibit. It's a masterpiece. But after what I went through at Pressure and the Life of a Giver, I really took, I've never been to therapy, but I started doing the work to change the behaviors and the mindsets that were making me feel like I needed to go to therapy. It wasn't something that I could afford at the time, but I didn't want to neglect it and say, oh, well, I can't afford it, I'm just going to do nothing. This is who I am. I didn't want to do that. So I started doing the work when it came to journaling, when it came to, getting out and exercising and, just taking the necessary steps to try and heal myself. I started growing my hair out more. I had grew my hair out previously, but like I said, I was in a bad place, and when I was depressed and when I was at Food Line and stuff, my hair was in some pretty bad shape. So this was when that major shift started happening, and I feel like that's when I really, really dived into doing better with my decision making when it came to crafting the albums and crafting the track list and being mindful about my subject matter and everything that I was going through with that, right? By this time, I was already plotting like, man, the Food Line is dead to me. Like, it don't matter what goes on in here, I'm just locked in on this album. This is another one of those ones where, like I said, it felt like, oh, this is a pivotal moment. This is going to be a big one, right? So this was the first time that I even reached back and I used one of the old mixtape songs from back when I was in high school, right? I went back and I found that beat and I paid for the beat. And I used the title, I used the theme. Only thing I didn't use was the extra verses that were on there. We had done, like, how it is as kids, everybody coming over, recording, laying verses. But the direction that I wanted to go for the album, I just used my solo version. Actually, what I should do is I should play the original version of the track from the mixtape way back and let y'all hear that. Since I don't think that song is anywhere on the internet.
Oh yeah. Visions of a better future at hand, but the dream shut down by the voice of the man, and the voice of the people is withered to a whisper. Chills sent down your back, shiver. The future is space, but I ain't talking Pluto. Same different time like Poison and Hugo. Can't work a 9 to 5, don't want a name tag. If I tell my girl, then she might get mad. Shoot. She might get glad that I got some time to spend other than in class. Weekends together in stormy weather. I hate to kill hope like my face was a letter. This game got me feeling light as a feather. Man, I gotta stay grinding so I hold my tether. Hip hop needs soul, so I'm giving it. Tupac will live again, but not in comparison.
I do, and you know I work a 9 to 5 just for love from you.
And I say, girl, you know I do. You know I work a 9 to 5 just for love from you.
Okay, now I'll play the one from the album so you can just hear how different it is and how similar it is just from the few years difference.
Illusions and visions of a better future at hand, but the dream shut down by the voice of the man, and the voice of the people is withered to a whisper. They keep them dumb, phased out on the liquor. Sacrifice a better life and ask why I waste time on someone that hate their own life. Love yours, check yourself and love life. Cause somebody lost somebody and would trade twice. It's overrated, we segregated, we still fear. But you see they try to kill us and we still here. And by they, I mean the devil's advocates. They come into your life and pretend they heaven sent. I'm an angel, God sent to keep peace. My notebook with pen ink, I rip sheets and pray the things that I wrote come true, so I can quit this 9 to 5 and make my dreams come true. And I say, girl, you know I do. You know I work at 9 to 5 just for love from you. And I say, girl, you know I do. You know I work at 9 to 5 just for love from you. I'm a victim to my own life. Better yet, I'm a victim to my own mic. Wrote this song years ago, it was trash then, but now I'm intricate with rhymes I never had then. See, I'm 21, no girl, just dreams. 03, Honda Black with low beams. And Food Lion, every day to get paid. Cash checks to make tracks, my road's paved. I get hurt, feelings flow like a lazy river. I pull the arrow, Cupid cries back to the quiver. I fall easy, rap cheesy when I'm in love. But this love don't make me better, swear the pain does. See, she 20, real skinny, she sing too. Sky gray, but her skies are gray too. 9 to 5, back to back, I'm James now. In due time, even though I want to change now. Girl, you know I do. You know I work at 9 to 5 just for love from you. And I say, girl, you know I do. You know I work at 9 to 5 just for love from you.
Work nights on the east side. Work nights on the east side. We work nights on the east side. 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 We work nights on the east side. Work nights on the east side.
You know I do. You know I work at 9 to 5 just for love from you. And I say, girl, you know I do. You know I work at 9 to 5 just for love from you. And I say, girl, you know I do. You know I work at 9 to 5, just for love from you. And I say, girl, you know I do. You know I work at 9 to 5, just for love from you.
So as I'm working on this album, if you recall me mentioning Emmy, right? When we worked on Slave to My Soul. So as I'm working on this album, over the years, we have been talking more, kiki jokes back and forth, text pretty often, DMs, Snapchat, whatever. So around this time, and I've had a real, I had a real bad habit about this back in the day. I feel like it dates my songs a little bit because if I had a crush on somebody, first of all, I wasn't telling them because, like I mentioned, I had to be focused, right? So I wasn't really trying to entertain a whole lot of potential relationship opportunities. Like, if I had to try and figure out if that person liked me back, if it was not very clearly mutually reciprocated, I wasn't wasting my time. I was like, let me not even worry about that. I got songs to record. I got videos to edit. I got, interviews to do. I got emails to send, whatever it is, right? So during this time, while I'm working on MasterPeace, I had a crush on Emmy. Emmy lives in Michigan. Michigan? Pretty sure. Yeah, Michigan. So I call myself being slick by naming the song Detroit because I know she don't live in Detroit. And as I'm writing the song out and stuff, I'm kind of like, I'm very general with stuff, right? So I think it was, what was it? Detroit, Superman, man, I don't even remember how many it was, but it was a few of them on there that were just like undercover expressions of the fact that I had a crush on Emmy at the time. But at the same time, I do feel like having those little moments, it kind of helps ground my music in a way where I am a avid storyteller. I do love to tell fictional stories that have truthful elements, like essentially based on true events type stories, right? Where, yeah, I'll embellish a little bit for the sake of telling the story so I can get my point across with the song. But having those songs where, yeah, in the grand scheme of things, it might be a little corny, but having those moments where, no, this is 100% true in every regard, those I feel do help ground my discography to where some of my relatability comes from. I've had people tell me many times where it's like, oh man, all of your stuff is always so relatable. I can't believe you went through that. And I'm just like, oh, oops, sorry. I hate to break it to you. No, that one wasn't true. I didn't go through that. I made that one up. I'm not going to talk too much about which song specifically because I want to talk about it when we get there. But there have been certain songs where even the person that I'm on the song with, they're like, man, I can't believe you went through that, bro. Like, I'm sorry that you had to go through that. And I'm like, oh no, that's where you were going with the song because you went through that. And I was just trying to match what you were going through. And I put myself in that headspace. And this is how I would feel if I actually went through that. So there are times where it is just, I'm able to just, I'm very empathetic to a lot of situations. So if I have even a remote idea of how you feel, I can kind of, start writing my story and writing the song and the lyrics with that in mind and have it transfer in a way that does feel authentic because I'm speaking from what I feel is a place of both honesty but curiosity, where it's like, no, I didn't go through this myself, but this is how I would feel if I went through that thing. I know for a lot of people, that's not something super easy for them to go through uh, and do. But for me, I've always found it very easy to where somebody's like, oh man, I had a bad day. X, Y, and Z happened. I can turn around and write a story and flesh that story out about X, Y, and Z happening, even though it never happened to me. And then somebody be like, dang, man, I can't believe that happened to you. Oh no, it didn't. But I'm just able to put myself in the position to tell the story that I need to tell for the sake of the song. So when it comes to MasterPeace as a whole, I wanted something that that felt like that felt more honest, that felt like stories that I'm telling from a genuine place. And funny enough, everything that I recorded prior to the release of MasterPeace, I did in GarageBand on my MacBook. And in 2017, I got a iMac, a desktop, and I got Logic for the first time, Logic Pro for the first time, and I recorded MasterPeace on my new USB mic and Logic Pro. And I felt like some of my mixing decisions, like I was uncomfortable with Logic, but I was like, well, I got to learn. No better time than the present to learn. So I do feel like I was, there was a learning curve there. We're trying to learn how to mix and master on Logic Pro. And then also with a brand new microphone that I hadn't used before, and I had to figure out what the best sound is for me and all of that. So fun fact, I've only ever used USB microphones for the entirety of my career. My current microphone is thousands of dollars, but it is still a USB microphone at the end of the day. I do own a USB, an XLR mic, but it also has a USB-C connector with it. So it's like every mic that I've owned, that I've recorded with, that I've recorded anybody else with, things that I've done for, companies, contracted work, feature work, anything that I've ever done, at some point in time, it has been recorded with a USB mic. A lot of people, they gave me flack about it at first. And they're like, oh, we got to get you upgraded. We got to get you this. We got to get you that. And I was like, yeah, but you guys spent a lot of money on a lot of this stuff and you don't record anything. So I'm good for now. I don't make a lot of money. And especially at the time, I wasn't making a whole lot. I can't go buy, a $500, $600, $700, $800 microphone and then go buy the audio interface, a good audio interface anyway. At the time, that just wasn't something that I could do with my money. So that $100 USB mic, that $120 USB mic, it got me through those times before I could afford better equipment. But now it's a choice where I'm like, I always want to be able to show people you can reach great heights with being able to use not necessarily the bare minimum, but you don't have to have all of this stuff just to be able to make a great song, just to be able to, make something of quality. Someone said to me last year or maybe earlier this year, they said, I won't get a trophy for only using USB stuff. And I said, it's funny. I don't need one. I do it because I want to, not because I'm going to get some sort of praise for doing it. Honestly, for the exact opposite, right? I've never been one to go back and forth with comments like that, but one could say the same thing. You're not going to get a trophy for using the most expensive stuff. I've been around people that have much more expensive stuff than I do, and their songs come out much worse, because at the end of the day, a lot of what makes a good song comes from the artist themselves. I'm never going to say that the engineering does not matter. But there's a lot of people that hide behind very expensive stuff as like a badge of honor in certain situations where they don't make any music at all. They're like, oh, look at my studio. I have all this stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay, let me hear a song. And they don't have anything. So I don't want to get into the, back and forth of, oh, this versus that. I just think everybody should have the ability to create if they desire to. And if I have the ability to show somebody, hey, you can start creating with this, and they're able to do that, and it's able to help propel them in life to where they can then afford more expensive stuff, I do take great pride in being able to do that. I've had students where it's like, oh, Mr. Cameron, I want to do this, but I can't afford X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, oh, that's fine. When I first made this, I was using a USB mic and a laptop. And they were like, really? And when I did a camp, that's all I used. They wanted to record songs and learn how to, mix some songs, make some beats and stuff. They used iPads, and I had a USB mic and my laptop. And that whole camp, we ran it just like that. And to me, it meant more seeing them enjoy the process of creation. And some of them, now that they're adults, they're still making music. They're able to afford more expensive stuff now. But the thing that got them hooked was just the accessibility of being able to get started. And I know that was somewhat of a tangent from discussing MasterPeace, but I just felt like once I was on the topic discussing my own switch, then I needed to, shed some light on that and my own personal experiences dealing with the stigma of not having high-end gear and technology. So to end this one off, I'll throw in another song from MasterPeace that originally didn't make the cut. It was going to be on a separate little EP because it didn't really fit. But over the years, I've repurposed them and put them out as bonus tracks to MasterPeace because they were made during the MasterPeace sessions.
I've been saving up for this. It ain't no canceling. Leaving on some good terms. We come back more than friends. I can take my time, yeah. Put it on rewind, yeah. Know you need a vacay, so say where we trying, yeah. Bahamas, we can blow some commas, girl. Take you all around the world. Let's take a trip to the Bahamas. We can blow some commas, girl. Take you all around the world. Let's take a trip to the Bahamas. Let's go take a trip though. What you tryna see though? Anything you ask is send that text and it won't be long. Girl, you so divine, yeah. See you in my mind, yeah. I hate taking pictures, but you snap me all the time, yeah. So one of a kind, yeah. Slick talk when you rhyme, yeah. Hold up, wait. I'm trying to make you mine, yeah. Girl, you so beautiful, it's so unnatural. All that you need, if you chase it, you'll have it though. I'm just your backup co-pilot, you drive it though. We talk the loudest, good thing that you silent though. Beauty is what I see, thinking about you and me. But if I'm wasting my time, I want you to tell me. Cause I'm invested, I've been stressing on you. Learn my lesson, God put blessings on you. Beauty is what I see, thinking about you and me. But if I'm wasting my time, I want you to tell me. Cause I'm invested, I've been stressing on you. Learn my lesson, God put blessings on you. I've been saving up for this, it ain't no canceling. Leaving on some good terms, we come back more than friends. I can take my time, yeah. Put it on rewind, yeah. Know you need a vacay, so say where we trying, yeah. Bahamas, we can blow some commas, girl. Take you all around the world. Let's take a trip to the Bahamas. We can blow some commas, girl. Take you all around the world. Let's take a trip to the Bahamas. We just had a long flight. We gon' have a long night. Go and hit the main stage. Girl, you in the spotlight. I be on the front stage. I'ma take the highlights. Once we rock the whole set, we can take the break right. Hit the beach, I know you like it there. And I like the way that you wear your hair. Pardon me, I didn't mean to stare. You just so beautiful everywhere. You say that you like the way that I dance. You say that you gonna give me a chance. I swear that I never screw it up. Cause more and more I keep falling in love. Beauty is what I see. Thinking about you and me. But if I'm wasting my time, I want you to tell me. Cause I'm invested. I've been stressing on you. Learn my lesson. God put blessings on you. Beauty is what I see. Thinking about you and me. But if I'm wasting my time, I want you to tell me. Cause I'm invested. I've been stressing on you. Learn my lesson. God put blessings on you. I've been saving up for this. It ain't no canceling. Leaving on some good terms. We come back more than friends. I can take my time, yeah. Put it on rewind, yeah. Know you need a vacay, so say let's take a trip to the Bahamas. We can blow some